In fact, for all of us who are into this process and who have relished this process for a couple of years, some for many decades and so on, despite all the challenges, it is also now our responsibility to uphold this tradition, to carry it forward to the next generation in a very relevant, practical way. We have benefited from it, and those who have relished it and benefited from it, they also understand out of experience what they have experienced. And therefore it is also their responsibility not to be lazy, not to be unkind, to not shoulder this responsibility. And this can happen. One can carry on these traditions which Srila Prabhupada carried, and he in turn carried it from his spiritual master and so on. He carried it because they were invested in truth in a right manner. So being invested in the truth is very, very important. Just being in the proximity of the absolute truth, or let's say in the proximity of Srimad Bhagavatam, or in the proximity of temple, or in the proximity of the externals of the process of bhakti, namely services and doing some services to the deities, making some prasad, making garlands, doing some cleaning, doing some book distribution and on. So this is the proximity. This gives you a reason to connect, and it gives you a process. But however, the integral, the inner part of all of this is basically that we ourselves must pursue the truth very actively, deep within our hearts, not by external means only, not limited to the external means. So this verse is highlighting some very beautiful term here. Kamasya na indriya pritir labho jiveta yavata. That the whole purpose of this human form of existence is not meant for sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada has explained this concept so many different times in the Bhagavatam and many other scriptures, and I'm sure many of you must have heard these things. But I don't know whether last year when I was here and had done online classes that time as well, I don't know whether I don't remember whether I had shared this point that even biologically, human being as a species, if it is removed from the ecosystem, there is no negative impact. For example, you remove a rat from the ecosystem, it will affect so many other species, and it will also affect climate and certain orders of things. You remove a bee, you remove a sparrow, you remove any insect. All these species have some connection, they have some contribution to the ecosystem as such. If you remove a human being from the ecosystem, there is no impact. So this simply means that we as a species don't really have an exclusive goal or exclusive activity to perform on this planet for its preservation. All we need to do is do not disturb the planet. Otherwise, there is no contribution of mine. When a mischievous student enters a class, or we have seen in many times doing these same services, if there is, you are in a group of, you are performing some festival and there are many devotees who want to do some service, and they'll say, Prabhu, give me some service, give me some service. So you'll give them, okay, you do this book distribution, you take care of guest reception, you take care of sound system, you take care of altar and so on. And there will be some person, oh, give me also. Okay, your service is just sit silently. Why? Because that person is of no good use to you. Because of his mischievous nature, the biggest contribution such a person can do is just sit silently. Correct? Similarly, our contribution to the nature, if we are not there, there's no impact on the nature. So therefore, it can be empirically or logically we can come to this conclusion that okay, that we are not an active part of the ecosystem. So then, what is the purpose of this human form of life? That would be the next question. Just like if you were in a community of devotees and nobody engages you despite your desire to get engaged, that means a bigger question comes, then what am I doing here? Then why am I here? Then why am I even associated with you? This is for those people who want to do service but they don't get service. So they should have this question. Or then what is that in me that I'm not being given service, right? So then we understand that we do not have such an important role as such to play on this planet with this planet. There is a role for you because you are here, but that is not to take control of the planet. What happens in the position of gratification? We think that, okay, now I am on the planet, so when I see beautiful flowers, I think that, oh, how will I decorate myself with the flowers? I see beautiful stones. Some are sparkling, so I feel, how will these diamonds decorate me? I'll see some metals. I may feel, how should I decorate myself with this silver and gold? How should I make when I see wood, I think, how will I make a beautiful house for me which will enhance my pleasures? And so on. Basically, when we see the world, we always see the world from a perspective of gratification. And however, as a species, I have no specific role, and that's why it is being said here, na indriya pritir labho. The gain which can be attained by, the goal of life is not to derive gains from kamasya, indriya pritir, not from that. Then what is the goal of my life? Beautiful word here. Jivasya, of the jiv, for the jiv. The biggest responsibility for him is tattva jignasa. Jignasa means inquiries. Prabhupada is translating inquiries. It also means curiosity. You will have an inquiry when you have a curiosity. This is very, very important. This is why I began that just being in a proximity of an environment does not essentially make things spiritual. If you do not have this, the position of being curious. Curious means you are seeking. See, every student who goes to a class is not curious for knowledge. And that's why you can distinctly make out for those people who are curious with knowledge, they always perform well, or probably they will always excel. Because they are curious. They want to learn, they want to know. Those who are curious are the people who get into the research and all those fields. They are always curious. And those people who are curious, they contribute to the field of knowledge itself. Suppose you are in mathematics or science or biology or painting or music. If you are curious, you will also contribute to that field of music itself. If you are not curious, then probably you will learn music, you'll learn maths, you'll learn any kind of maybe piano or sports. Jai Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya Gaur Nitai Bhagwan Ki Jai. You will learn some kind of sports just for the sake of it. As long as it is not part of your curiosity, the acceleration which must happen in the heart, that which makes you seek, that which helps you attain, those things will not be possible. And when one has such a life, even if one is in the best of an environment, if the active feeling to seek is lost, you also lose the taste in spiritual life also, in the small little practices which we do. We feel, Oh, I'm just ritualistically doing, I'm just doing, I don't know what's happening. I'm doing this, but I'm not receiving mercy, and so on. Those kind of feelings come up. That means the aspect of jigyasa is lost. So I will today only speak on this word. Oh, sorry. Has it affected there? I don't know. Some time ago, today afternoon, while I was thinking what to speak, and that's why I selected this shloka. I asked Pranath Prabhu and Nandagopal Prabhu, what is there any order of the classes? They said no, I can pick a choice. And then I was wondering what to speak, and in that wonder I thought to speak on the aspect of wonder and inquiry and curiosity. So the first sutras, the first aphorism, the first sutra of the Brahma-Sutras is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. It's very interesting. It may not appear it may not appear very meaningful verse as such, but I'll try to make it interesting for those who like to understand Shastra. This aphorism is very simple. It has only 4 words or 3 words. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So Athato Brahma Jigyasa, 3 words. It simply means, now therefore, inquire. Jigyasa means inquiry, right? Or curiosity. Be curious, inquire about what? Brahma, Brahman, the absolute truth. This statement appears very ordinary. What does it mean? Now inquire about absolute truth. So when we hear this statement, we may feel, okay, now let's move to the next sutra. Because this sutra is just saying inquire about absolute truth. But what is it actually saying? Think about it. So many commentators and various acharyas have discussed this word. What does this word athato mean? I'll ask you something based on a new research. I see some nice young boys. Recently, a man sent a probe to the Mars. You know that? Heard about that? What was that probe called? What was the name? Anybody knows? Huh? Yeah. No, that's different. Discovery is different. Okay, anyways. So let's say, suppose you go to Mars and you see a board there. Like you see a notice board, as soon as you landed. And it says, do not enter. It's written, do not enter. Now what are the various conclusions you can come through that? Yes. Very good. That somebody already lives there. Yes?
Or something.
Yeah, something or somebody, yeah.
They don't want us humans to come there to Mars.
Yeah. Excellent. The second conclusion is that they do not want humans to come to the Mars. What other conclusions? It's not just for kids, adults can also speak. Think as many conclusions. Think like an investigation. Suppose you are an investigating officer. Something like a murder has taken place. How will you approach every single piece of evidence? So this is the point. Do not enter. How many conclusions? Yes, what's your name, by the way? Krishna. Krish. Yes or no?
Yes.
Krish. Thank you. Very nice. Very good conclusions. Yes, tell me more.
your conclusion is probably, since something lives on Mars, then probably something else would live on different planets, I guess.
Yes, very good. I'm really thoroughly impressed by the very logical derivations they are coming to. Yes, what's your name? Chaitanya.
It could be space trash that landed on Mars.
Yes, it could also be a space trash that somehow landed on Mars and it's maybe fixed properly. That possibility is here, yeah. What else?
It says do not enter, so it may be for others since I have already come here. So let me turn the board and go inside.
So maybe, no, but that's not the conclusion you feel. Okay, yeah. Okay, there is a board, do not enter, but it does not necessarily mean that it could be for me as such, because nobody knew that I was going to come. Okay, that's one conclusion, one derivation, yes. Think more fundamental.
Take permission and then enter.
Take permission and enter, okay, correct. Yes, Krish.
Maybe the actually,
It could be that somebody was there before and they know it's not a good place. Like, keep you out.
Yes.
Not good.
Yes, very good. That means somebody was there before. That's a very important conclusion, that somebody was already there before me, and for some reason they have concluded that probably it's not good. Okay, let me help you with some more conclusions which also come to my mind. If that board is written in English, so I conclude that whoever has written this, he understands the language English. He may or may not be speaking that language, but that person understands that I understand English. That also means there is a possibility of people who understand this language would come here. Correct? Otherwise it would have been written in a language. That simply means that English is prevalent there. Those are the conclusions you can come out in a social manner. If I see a board there, I can also conclude that there is someone who understands the science of metallurgy if the board was created in Mars. Correct? You need a metal frame, or if it's a wooden frame, that means there is something, instruments which level, which make the board flat or make the board 90 degrees and so on. That means there's a sense of algebra, there's a sense of geometry. If it is written with paint, that means there is a sense of paints and so on. So you can come out with so many such conclusions. Do you have any more conclusions now? Any more? Think over it. I just helped to open another set of investigation. Like an investigating officer, how many things he can come through. Another thought which comes is that when you see that board, means you understand that the person writing has also a sense of how you understand things. They are trying to communicate in a language which you can understand. Okay? Yes.
Maybe they wrote it specifically in English because, like, people, right? Like, if somebody wrote example, right? If somebody wrote do not enter, right? That means the person will probably feel tempted to enter it, something like that, right? So maybe the guy who wrote on it wanted somebody to come, I guess, something like that.
Yeah, probably he knows that they can come. Now the interesting part I want to say is, the planet Earth has certain number of species, right? You must have seen in movies when we talk about aliens and so on. Correct? We hear about some newer species. So, definitely there is a possibility that there are some kind of species there which understand our same language. They may not be humans. If they were humans, then it would be easier for us to also live in Mars. But we cannot live. That means that species is specifically probably not human. Or it is more advanced version of a human being. Something like that. But it definitely does not have a body composition like us, otherwise it cannot exist. But from the perspective of Mars, Mars is communicating to a set of species on Earth or any other that do not enter. That simply also means that the people or the living entities in Mars who have written this board, do not enter, are communicating to which species on the Earth? Yeah. Why? Yeah.
No other animal except humans can understand.
Exactly. Now we are coming to the point. Now when I see this word do not enter, means I understand that this is specifically written for humans because they have an ability to reach here and they probably would reach here in the future. And they have that mindset and therefore they need to be warned. If it was written for dogs and cats and rats, and these things wouldn't exist. So now I'm coming to this first sutra. It says, now therefore inquire unto the truth. So how many conclusions can you come by this? This is given by our own acharyas only. It's not something new outside Prabhupada's purpose, just for somebody who is feeling. But when I say, suppose there is a conversation between me and Pranath Prabhu and Krish or Chaitanya just join in. And the last statement you hear, therefore Pranath Prabhu, we should make this festival in such a manner. Let's say, therefore Pranath Prabhu, or let's say Pyare Prabhu is saying, therefore Pranath Prabhu or Nanda Gopal Prabhu, we should now have online classes. When you hear this statement, therefore now you should have online classes, what do you understand? What do you understand with this word, therefore, now, hereafter? Just this word, huh? What do you understand?
That the person who's saying it is trying to make a statement, I guess.
He's trying to make a statement, but when you hear, therefore Chaitanya, therefore Krish. Exactly, that means whatever is going to come after this word therefore is a conclusive evidence. So much has gone before this therefore, and so many things have been concluded, means so many things have been derived, and you are only making the final conclusion. So whatever comes before that word therefore is an already existing matter which has to be understood well only with reference to what is going to come later. So I said, therefore, let us keep the temple closed and let us have online programs. That means the next question should come, what exactly happened that you had to keep the temple closed? So what was that? That's one part. And that's just a reference. It does not mean that I need to be invested in that knowledge. It is just a reference that so many things have happened and therefore we are keeping the temple closed. Now this statement, whatever comes before therefore is an analysis. Whatever comes after therefore is a conclusive truth. It must be followed. So now we come to this point. Therefore, athato, now, hereafter, now, therefore, Brahma Jigyasa. You understand this term? It's a book. Suppose you take a book And in a book, normally we begin with this chapter that there is a story which flows about the climate, about the environment, introduction of a character or a crime scene or a romantic scene or an episode, something like that. But here the book begins, now therefore, inquire about to the absolute truth. Now therefore, if this statement is given at the end of the book, it makes sense. It is being spoken at the first very sutra, Vedanta Sutra. Isn't this fascinating? If you think from that point of view, think from a literature point of view. Very fascinating. The conclusive line is spoken as the first line of the book. So, there is a discussion of what this word now it means. Atha means now. Now, hereafter. In English we have tried to make it this, therefore. So now, hereafter, now. So now we'll do this. So what does this word now mean? From the point of view of discovery of that Mars board, try to answer that. Both of you boys and all, everybody else also. Can we not say, when you see this statement, you should also ask this question, which are the species which can understand this statement? Isn't it? Like when you say, do not enter, means it is assigned to which species? Why? Because humans are the only ones who can understand what Brahma Jigyasa means. They are the only ones who can understand what is called as inquiry. They are the only ones who have the ability of Jignasa, to reasonably inquire. They are the only ones. And therefore, one of the meaning of this word now, henceforth, now, hereafter, athato, therefore, inquire to absolute truth means now that you have got this human form of life, as a species, we can have all kinds of pleasures, which is explained. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam cha samanyam etat pashubhi naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhi naranam. As far as pleasures of eating, sleeping, mating and defending are concerned, these are available to all species of life, and probably they have these pleasures even more than humans, with practically no work pressure. Like in their homes, which I see, they feed sparrows every day. 2-3 fistfuls of rice, as much as humans eat. So they feed every day to the sparrows. They do nothing. They'll go to sleep on time. As soon as the sun sets, the sparrows stop chirping and they go to rest. And as soon as sun rises properly, they'll come to that their gallery and they'll ask for rice and they'll eat nicely. They do not have to work. They are just playing. They are having all pleasures, having lot of fun. It is only the human being who has to do excessive efforts for the basic necessities of life. No other species, and therefore this term is coming as far as eating, sleeping, mating and defending is concerned. These things are more abundantly available in other species of life. So as a human being, your specific contribution, because you have no role as such on the earth to play in the ecosystem, your specific contribution to your own self or to the ecosystem would be to get out, because the earth also wants you to be silent. That we determined in the beginning of the class. You as a species not contributing anything to the weather in a positive way, to the nature in a positive way. If you just are silent, that's a big contribution. That means you as a species should be off this planet. And how to be off is the whole method of liberation. And that process of wanting to be off is what is called as Tattva Jigyasa. apart from you, because all other species are going to be bound to the planet, they still have a role to play. So immediately they are not going to be out of it. But you as a human being, you have been given this specific ability to inquire, to understand the truth, to go out, to be silent, not to do mischief. That's our biggest contribution. That's our greatest contribution. That is why it is given here. Jivasya tattva jignasa na artho yascheha karma bhi. Apart from this specific duty, there is no other duty which is important. So it's a very, very important thing. As we continue our journey in life, or even see a person, I'll just explain this Athato Brahma Jigyasa a little bit more than what we discussed. That as a human being you do this. Another nature of truth is, we hear this term called absolute truth. We hear that Krishna is infinite. We hear that nature of truth is like that, all expansive, ever increasing bliss. Have we not heard these terms in the Srimad Bhagavatam? Ever increasing ecstasy, ever increasing bliss. So that means, no matter how much you attain it, there will still be a journey left to complete. If the truth becomes finite, the aspect of seeking or inquiry will stop. So it is the nature of truth that you will be happy only in that journey itself. Till that point of time, nothing in life will give you peace. And the nature of truth is, if you say, let's say somebody will say, a practitioner of Bhakti Yoga will say, my goal of life is Krishna Bhakti. My goal of life is Golok Vrindavan. But actually that cannot even be a goal, because you are never going to attain that goal. Not that you will not attain to Golok Vrindavan, but whenever you attain to any gratification, after that you want to get rid of it and you want to go beyond. That's the nature of any form of sense pleasure. But the nature of truth is, even after you attain it, its mysticism always remains. The bewilderment of the truth always remains. It's more mystical. Therefore, you will see the wisest of the people who understand even Shastra, they are still bewildered after learning so much. Read about Maitreya Rishi, read about Bhishma, who are such great personalities on this planet, or were on this planet. And all these people, those who were great rishis and munis, they also are so bewildered, understanding the way in which the words have been arranged and the stories have been formulated. And everyone, when they meet Krishna, when they approach the truth, when Dhruv Maharaj saw Narayan, when Prahlad Maharaj saw Narsingh, when all these personalities, after thousands and thousands of years of tapasya and readings and learnings, when they see the truth, you know what is their conclusion? That we just cannot understand, we just cannot fathom the levels and depths of your mystery. We are not so bewildered by this knowledge so much. We feel that we have understood, but those people who have done tapasya, meditation for 10,000 years and attained so much, they are feeling that, oh, my dear Lord, your presence is bewildering. Means those who are experiencing God are feeling that it's just unfathomable. And we, probably somebody who has a great sense of ego may think, I have understood Gita. I have understood Bhagavatam. I can quote stories right, left and center. I can analyze it. I can twist and turn the texts here and there. Thinking that now I understood. But actually it's not like that. When we are discussing this word Athato and Brahma Jigyasa, if there is so much bewilderment and beauty only with these terms, can you imagine what it would be when you meet the truth? And therefore the element of Jigyasa never ends when your jigyasa is to the truth. And when you are doing any form of gratification, today you will like it, tomorrow you will not like it. Like when you play a certain game, you like it for 2 days, after that you don't want it. You watch a movie, it's a nice movie, after that you don't want to watch it 20, 30 times. No, not possible. You like a song, you can sing for 10, 20 years once in a while, but you cannot sing it every single day, 16 rounds of that song. Not possible. It's just not possible. The mystery of spiritual things never ends. And as long as our inquiry is firmly situated in the truth, as long as our inquiry is not firmly situated in the truth, we will be getting stuck into silly inquiries of just eating, sleeping, mating, defending, which are essential elements of our life, but they have to be managed in a certain proportion. We'll get stuck into that, and those inquiries lead to an answer which is not satisfying. And many times, as times are progressing in Kali Yuga, it is more frustrating than it is more elevating. We want to alleviate our stress, but it causes more stress. That's how it is. And that's why it is saying Brahma Jigyasa. Why you are suffering? Because your questions are all about your material existence. Kamasya na indriya pritir. When will your questions, when will your query come to the point of I want to understand the truth? In childhood, all our queries, when can I play? How will I play? Which is the best game I play? Where are my friends? Who can be my friend? This is a query for a child. As he grows a little bit, then he is, where is my spouse? How can I, where is my partner? How can I make him or her my spouse? How can we have nice children? Where do we stay? How can I maintain the family? And so on. And when a person gets old, his queries are of the nature of this. I am suffering with my back, my neck, my eyes, my knees, and so on. How can I get rid of this pain? So, chinta. So, one of the great saints of India, he wrote a shlok on this. That when I was young, I was just worried about my play. That was my query. When I went mid-age, my query was all about my family. And in old age, my query was all about worrying about different aspects of life. Matlab, my pains and this and that. The finally, Brahmano kopi na sakta. Nobody has any query about this Brahman. What is saying here? Tattva jignasa. Nobody is having any query. So he's saying, what will be my life now? Yes. So I'll stop here. Any questions and comments?
Yeah. So, at what stage in your life you are chinta free? I mean, like you said, when you were young, you're worried about school, passing school, getting, degree. After that, look for a job, worried about job, family, and when you get certain age, you worry about your health. So when will you be ever, stress-free or chinta-free?
Yeah. So let's say instead of this word worry, this verse is beautiful. It says Balyavastha Kridasakta and Vruddhavastha Chinta Sakta. Means we are asakta. Asakta means attached. So we are, as children, we are attached to playing. As mid-householders, we are attached to preserving family and so on. We are not so much interested in playing. And then in old age, we get attached to worrying. So old people, they have nothing to do, they keep worrying, just thinking, why is this happening? Why is this? Why is this? So it becomes their hobby or an activity to just be in chinta. So that's the specific verse discussion. But yeah, your question that when will be a time when we'll be stress-free? See, the understanding of this concept of stress also comes later in life. It's by the time we understand. A child does not even understand what can he do if he goes in stress, because that much level of intelligence has not yet developed. In fact, in our Vedic literatures, in the Bhagavad Gita, very beautifully Krishna says, Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam guna karma vibhagashah, that I have created these 4 varnas and ashrams based on guna and karma, means qualities and activities, means your intricate nature and the specific activities you do at a specific stage of life. So in that there is something called as varna and ashram. So let us discuss this ashram, because that concerns with your question of worry. So the first 20 years of life, approximately 20, I am just giving a reference, or let's say till puberty, a person lives like a brahmachari. Once a person is ready, once a person hits puberty, he starts identifying the other gender and he starts developing desires to have his own family and so on. So that's a call of nature to attain to that. So we have to follow that order in a natural, normal process. So in that I attained. Now, after attending to that process, there will again be a call from the Prakriti, from the nature itself, within our heart, where we start questioning our own activities, whatever we have done, even in the family or even studies. Which I see, once a person reaches mid-age, he starts asking, yaar, kya karna hai zindagi mein? What exactly are we supposed to do with life? Is this life? Is this all about life? The routine and so on. Okay, we had fun, we went to travel to places, but is this all? Is this all? So that question comes. That means, now this question does not come at young age, it doesn't come because nature is telling that at this age you respond to these queries, which I am generating. Now when the nature gives this input in our heart and in our mind through the change of biological change which occurs through hormones and so on, we need to understand that if we do not attend to that query which is being generated, it will only create a sense of conflict. Just like there are so many people who do this software, if there is a query which comes up, you are supposed to attend to a query. If you do not attend to the query, that just escalates the problem in a very different level. It just complicates it further. Correct? So there is a stage of life after Grihastha which is called Vanaprastha, where irrespective of how you have lived your life, successfully or not so successfully, and the whole gradient in between. Somebody was not so successful, somebody was very successful, and all the gradients of success and failures in between. Whatever it was, at the stage of Vanaprastha, stop that game. Now only inquire to the truth. Because, somebody may ask, why? Why? Because when the nature responded to you to have a family, you made a family. When now the nature is responding to you, when the nature responded you only for playing and in the stages of growing like the kids, you did that abundantly. Then you did abundantly for 20 years the family aspect. Now the nature is making a call to question your own self. Do that abundantly. So for that you will have to get rid of one stage of life, maybe not in a physical sense, but at least the mental sense that I do not want to continue that same thing. I want to focus on some things. Why? Because I am in tune, I am in sync with the call of nature right now. And when I do it that way, I will be able to derive more success. So when you question that when should we stop worrying or how can we stop worrying, if we do not actively pursue to bring a solution, there will not be a solution. It's like there is no end. I'll give you an example of of a person whom I knew well. Not my grandmother, but cousin grandmother, like kind of grandmother only, grandmother's cousin. So like we used to call grandmother. So she got her grandchildren also married, and her grandchildren also had children. She lived long enough, but those days, they used to get married at the age of 17, 18, and they had the first child when they were 18 years of age, and so on. So her grandchildren got married, and when she was not keeping well, I had met her. So she was saying, my only desire is this, my last desire. I remember when the youngest grandchild was getting married, before he got married, she said that I just wish that this person gets married, then I'm okay to die. After that, she survived for 15 years. Meanwhile, there was the elder grandchild who got married, had a child who also became of marriage age. And she told me this, and I was witness to these things both times. She said, oh, my desire is she gets married, jaldi jaldi shadi kara do, as we say in Hindi. Get her married soon, I want to see her settled, and then I am okay to depart. I was thinking that the desires just never end. So therefore, this concept of vanaprastha is that, okay, now you reach 50, 55, you got your children educated and got them married. Now make an active effort to not get involved in these things and get involved in these things. Prakriti is supporting you. It's the wave. Means when you want to swim against, like a brahmachari typically, we are swimming against the current because our age is not supporting it. The age is saying that acquire wealth, acquire the pleasures, you have all the strength, you have capacity, you have the mind. That's mid-age, right? And there you are pursuing the truth. So you are swimming against the current. But in Vanaprastha stage, the body itself and the mind itself is not wanting to attach there. It's seeking something higher. And the fact that it is seeking something higher, the proof of that is you are still not satisfied in what you are doing exactly. That is the proof that it is wanting something else more now. That age is gone to play, now I need to make a family. The age is gone to make a family and so on, I need to do a different game. So swim with that current of the truth. And you have to make an active effort to stop that. Just like when child grows, one day if he is doing the same mischief, you will tell Krish, now you are grown-up boy. You cannot do like this. What's this? What's your sister's name? What's the daughter's name? Krisha. Okay. So you may say that, Krish, you cannot do this. You are not as young as Krisha. Right? How? Yeah. So, but then you have to remind him, right? That Krish, this is not fair. You are not like Krisha. Similarly, as he grows, you will say, oh, now don't play this kind of mischief. Now you are 20 years of age. You need to go focus like, now you are an adult. Now once he becomes married, you say, hey, now you are married. Don't behave like a teenager. So once you cross 50, we have nobody to say after that who we are. Those wise people and those wisdom is lost. Otherwise they would say, hey, ho gaya, enough of all of this. Now focus on the truth. This is what it is saying. Now focus. So you have to make an effort. Otherwise the worries will not go even after your grandchildren. The newer things happen. I hope it helps.
It is. It looks like it's more of a choice here. Just which route you want to go. You want to
Right.
walk or it seems like you can't do both.
Yeah, you cannot. See, when you need to focus on the family, that time the nature itself is giving you a good time and it's giving you enough strength at that time to do those things. So do it. When the time is changing, respond to the call and then move on. So we'll stop here. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
साक्षात बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की जय, गौर निताय भगवान की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। शिव जय जय की बजयो जय गोरा चंदे आरती कसो की बजयो जय गोरा चंदे आरती कसो Madhura Vedanta Vaju Paramarasa Madhura Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashatari Tatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashatari Tatarine Jai Shri Krishna Jai Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रियोदकाचार्य चरण भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की ISKCON founder श्री प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रियोदकाचार्य सत्श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की प्रेम से बोलिए जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद की all glory to the Son. All glory to the Son of devotee. All glory is all glory to Sri Guru and Gaur. Here Guru Sri Prabhupada ki jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Chila
Jagannath Priya Prabhu ji, who gave a wonderful class today. You were here to attend the class. We'll thank Prabhuji by saying 3 times Hari Bol. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining with us today. I think it's the second time Prabhuji is joining us. Last time when Prabhuji visited us, I think everything was on Zoom, if I remember correctly. I remember seeing you on Zoom only. I didn't meet you in person last time. But it's nice to have a personal association today. Hopefully things will be back to normal soon and we'll be able to have more of your association. Thank you. So, we don't have any free sponsors for today. If anyone would like to sponsor the feast, you can give your names now. Anyone on Zoom, they would like to sponsor. Hare Krishna Mataji. So, Olivia Mataji would like to sponsor the feast. Thank you. Hari Bol! We are making some changes to the Sunday program format. So every Sunday usually we have cooked prasadam, but this time around due to the recent surge in COVID cases, we decided we are not going to have any cooked prasadam because it's considered risk for devotees to gather together in the kitchen and cook prasadam. So this is only for the month of January so far. We are going to review the situation again in the last week of January and see how things are looking like. So if things improve, we might get back to our normal, prasadam schedule. But for today, we have fruits for everyone. Before you leave, we have bags outside, just outside this door. So you all can grab one bag per family, and there are fruits in the bag. Also, due to the recent COVID surge, we are again requesting everyone to follow all the CDC guidelines, wear masks at all times, stay 6 feet away as much as possible unless we are part of the family. So please follow that if possible. There's one last thing that I want to mention. So we recently increased the fee sponsorship amount. It used to be 125. We revised it to 151 due to the surge in inflation. So the 12 fee sponsorship, which used to be $1,401, so that covers the sponsorship for all Vaishnava holidays that you celebrate here at ISKCON, Connecticut. There are 12 feasts like that, which includes Krishna Janmashtami, Govardhan Puja, Gaur Purnima, Nityananda Trayodashi, all the major festivals. So we have to revise the price for that, sponsoring all 12 Vaishnava holidays to $1,701. But for the month of January, we are keeping it at the old price, $1,401. If anyone would like to sponsor all Vaishnava holidays, you can still do it at the old price until the end of the month. Even if you have already sponsored for this year, you can lock in one more year, if you would like to do it. So if you are interested, you can either give your names to me today, or you can reach out to Pyare Prabhu. So with that, we are going to have more chanting for the benefit of the sponsors.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we'll be continuing to practice for today. So you need to continue and also please don't forget to take the cell from outside. Thank you.